So you're running a successful agency and things are going pretty well. You've got a great team and you're going. But what happens when a big decision comes across your desk? Maybe you're moving to a new office. Maybe you're making a senior team hire. You look at your finances and they are all generally backwards looking. It's hard to make a forward looking decision with backwards looking information. My name is Kevin Steele, Fractional CFO with over 18 years experience. And today in this video, we're going to talk about Fractional CFO and when it makes sense to hire one for your agency. So first question, when does a Fractional CFO actually make sense for your agency? If you get this wrong, you could be paying for something you don't need. So it really falls down to three key areas in terms of revenue. If you're below 1 million in revenue, it's arguable if you need a fractional CFO unless you're really fast growing. Under 1 million in revenue, you should have enough knowledge of the business coupled with the information you get from the accountant to make sensible enough decisions. But if you're fast growing, you may need a fractional CFO. If you're above 20 million in revenue, you really need somebody more full-time than a fractional CFO. You want somebody that can dedicate maybe 4 or 5 days a week specifically to you and your business because it's bigger in size, right? You need somebody a little bit more full-time than a fractional. The sweet spot where you need a fractional CFO is between 1 to 20 million revenue. That's where a fractional CFO sits, and that's where a fractional CFO will help you get to the higher end of that. My job as a fractional CFO is to get you to that 20 million level where you don't need me anymore and you need somebody that's more full-time. So the next thing we're going to speak about today is the value of forecasting and planning. Give you an example. I worked with a 2 million agency before, and previously they had relied on their accountant to give them all the information they needed to make a key decision. Problem was that all the accountant's information was backwards looking. They reconciled the books, they made sure everything was fine for the last month and the previous months, etc. But they did not prepare any detailed forecasts looking forward. And what the good thing about a fractional CFO is, they will always have that forward-looking information, that kind of 12 months, 24 months, 36 month plan. So when you do have a big decision to make, they can just drop it in the model. And if it's dropped in the model, you can see the immediate impact. You don't have to wait like 1 week, 2 weeks for the information to be put together because it's always updated as we go along every month. And we can also go, okay, cool. Once we've dropped it in the model, what's the best case scenario? What's the medium case scenario? What's the absolute disaster case scenario? And the good thing about a fractional CFO is, because that model's up to date, you can get that information quickly. You're not waiting weeks or even months to make a key decision. So if you're a growing business, at some point, this is going to happen to you. Either you're going to want to acquire another business or you're going to want to sell your own business. This is the perfect thing a fractional CFO can help with. And by the way, if you're in that position right now, feel free to reach out because I've done this multiple times for my clients and I have also built and sold a business myself. Check out the link in the description and get in touch via whatever method suits you best. So in terms of if you're actually buying another agency, there's going to be a lot of things you need to make sure are correct about that agency. Number one, is it a good fit? Number two, is the culture going to mesh well together with both of the agencies? But most importantly, number three, the financial side of things. You need an expert on the finances who can go in, look at the profit and loss in detail, look at the balance sheet in detail, look at the cash flow in detail, look at like all the legal documents in detail with support from a lawyer and really make sure this business is legitimate. Like you guys would not, you would not understand how much things I have seen in a company when you get into the detail and everything looks great. Great deal on paper, etc., etc. Then I go in and actually really deep dive on the balance sheet and see what's hidden in there. What looks like a great deal can turn out to be an absolute horror story and one that you will be glad a fractional CFO has told you, do not go ahead with this deal. On the other side of the table, if you're looking to sell your business, what a fractional CFO like myself can do is make sure you are ready to sell your business. We need to get a data room set up, which has all your key information. We need clean financials, we need forecasts, we need to get the business ready for sale. And getting the business ready for sale can sometimes take 6 months, 9 months, 12 months. So if you are looking to sell your business, the sooner you engage a fractional CFO or somebody that can actually help get you ready for sale, the better. So another great benefit of a fractional CFO is having another adult at the table, also known as a non-executive director. So a fractional CFO almost mixes both. It gives you that financial experience, but it also gives you that non-executive director experience. So what do I actually mean by a non-executive director? This is, again, another adult at the table, somebody who's experienced in business, works with boards, has seen lots of different decisions, and somebody who you can bounce ideas off. So with a fractional CFO, you're almost getting that combination of both. You're getting that non-exec support and you're getting that kind of deep financial analysis and support. And to be honest, for a couple of my clients, I don't do that really super detailed finance stuff because the business isn't that complicated. What they value me for more is my strategic feedback, bouncing ideas off me. Because if you're running a 2-3 million business and you're the only shareholder, or maybe it's just you and one other person, having that external person come in who isn't in the day-to-day of the business can sometimes help you kind of spot things that you wouldn't normally spot because you're so ingrained in running the business. So another great benefit of a fractional CFO is that external strategy support from somebody that's been there, worked in your industry, has seen what goes right, has seen what's go wrong with different clients. One unique thing about working with me, especially as a fractional CFO, is I've actually developed my own software platform. And what this software platform does is it pulls in all your financial data, but it will also link into your other systems like HubSpot, Productive, Salesforce, Google Analytics, etc. And it will pull all your data from all your various systems into one place. So what working with a fractional CFO like me can do is it can give you that one source of truth for all your data. So imagine you had your monthly reports, but you also had a live dashboard. And that live dashboard, you could log in every day and you could see, okay, who's visiting my website, how's my financial performance, etc., etc. And there's also an AI layer built on top of this app. So you got to log into this. You can log in and just ask the chatbot, hey, what happens if our revenue drops by 20% next month? The AI will automatically analyze all your information. It will look at both financial and non-financial data, and it will give you a great response and go, hey, these are the impacts. If your revenue dropped by 20%, it would link to both, again, the finance, the non-finance stuff. So it might say, okay, you might need to invest more in sales. We can see your current pipeline has X amount of leads, so you need to increase your pipeline to get more leads, to convert more revenue. So really getting that kind of 360 view of the business. So although I'm a fractional CFO, one would think that that's only focused on finance data, but there's a lot more data to a business than just finance data. You got marketing data, you got operations data, you got sales data, you have all sorts of different data spread all over the place. And any good fractional CFO should actually be looking at your business in a kind of 360 view, not just looking at exactly what's in your Xero, your QuickBooks, your Sage. We want to be looking at all the different data sources that are available for your business. A good fractional CFO will maybe bring that together in spreadsheets, show you like different tabs with all the information. An even better fractional CFO might even build their own piece of software that can link into your financial information and then link into HubSpot, Asana, Productive, all these other systems, Google Analytics, and pull it through and create your live dashboards, all that kind of cool stuff. I actually did that. So I've got a video on the YouTube channel. I did that in conjunction with CFO Connect. Feel free to check it out.